Wednesday, June 5th, 2024, 6 p.m. in our meeting room at the Town Hall, Peck Street. Mass General Law, Chapter 38, subsection 20F requires any person recording must notify chairman at the beginning of the meeting. Anybody recording? We are. Okay, meeting called to order at 6 p.m. Pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody read the voting committee opening, please.
Volunteers are needed on the following: Board of Registrar, 1 Board of Selectmen; Capital Improvement Committee, 3 Board of Selectmen, 2 Moderator; Commission on Disability, 5 of 13 Board of Selectmen; Cultural Council, 1 Board of Selectmen; Economic Development Committee, 5 Board of Selectmen; Energy Committee, 4 Board of Selectmen; Finance Committee, 1 Moderator; Historical Commission, 2 Board of Selectmen; Recycling Committee, 1 Board of Selectmen, Zoning Board of Appeals, 1 alternate.
Community speaks. Is there anybody from the community that would like to speak to us about anything that's on the agenda or anything? No? Okay, good. Moving right along. Priority matters. Consider the conditional offer of employment for Sandra Smith, the position of administrative assistant for the Select Board Town Administrator's Office.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Interviews were held on May 14th with myself, Carol Days, and Chris Testa. We had 17 applicants. 3 of those applicants withdrew. We scheduled 4 interviews out of those 14 applicants. Sandra Smith arrived early for her interview and quickly stood out as an incredible, qualified, and personable candidate. Sandra's previous experience includes office supervisor, administrative secretary, intake coordinator, and in her most recent role, she oversaw a busy office, which included handling of sensitive materials and projects. Sandra, after the interview, when we were narrowing down the candidates for possible consideration, we did contact Sandra to see if she would be interested in just shadowing the office to make sure that it was an appropriate fit for us and for her. So she did come in for 2 days, and and we have done this previously with communications. We did it with the animal control, so we thought it would be a good fit to try to make sure she understood what the job entails. And within a few short hours, it was obvious that Sandra was an excellent addition, would be an excellent addition to the office. She jumped right in, began answering the phones. That typically takes about 2 weeks for people to get past the nerves of answering the telephones. She did it on the first day of shadowing. She got into understanding some of the Excel spreadsheets that we had and understanding all the responsibilities in the office. So she seemed very excited for the opportunity, and we quickly realized that she was a good fit. So my recommendation to the board would be that we give her a conditional offer of employment to Sandra Smith for the position of administrative assistant for the Board of Selectmen Town Administrator's Office.
Can I have a motion, please?
Move that the Board of Selectmen appoint Sandra Smith to the position of Administrative Assistant to the Board of Selectmen and Town Administrator, subject to and conditioned upon her successful passage as determined by the Town Administrator of a pre-employment background and quality check, physical examination, drug screening, and completion of all pre-employment paperwork.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions? Everyone good? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Sandra was super nervous, so she's excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, moving right on. General business license hearing. Consider the request for a 1-day special event permit for Rockwell Amusement and Promotions Incorporated to conduct a carnival in the parking lot at 1300 Fall River Avenue. Hello, how are you? Sir, your name, please, for the record?
Rockwell Amusement.
Oh, okay, I see you right there. And for people that don't know where 1300 Fall River Avenue is, that's the Fantasyland parking lot. Is anybody have any questions?
Couple of different weekends mentioned in the thing. Is that because of like a
The next weekend,
next week? Oh, that's right, because that's May, so this past.
the other
Okay,
one
yep.
passed.
Yep.
We haven't had a carnival in Seekonk for a few years, and you changed the procedure. It took us a little longer
Okay.
to get to this point.
Is this the first time doing the fundraiser with the?
For the animal shelter, yeah. In the past, he's done donations for the memorial
Veterans.
over on, next to the library. Which I believe 3 years, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we did for the fire department for many years.
yeah. So we're looking, we need a trailer for our emergency.
What's the trailer for?
The emergency, like if we have to set up at the high school or the senior center, it's gonna hold all the crates and all the totes, and so we just back off the up and go. Like a 8x12 or 14 trailer.
So they get rid, the van doesn't accommodate that, or?
The van has like stuff in it, yeah, so the crates are really awkward to house and move. So they would just stay in this trailer, and then the crates of the supplies will be on shelves in the back of the trailer.
You know,
So all we
the,
have to do is put food in or whatever.
Mr. Czar, the CERT training that's going on in town in case there's an emergency. She's part of that, and this is equipment that she needs in order to execute her spot in that CERT training.
Yeah, right now it's in the container that we have, and it takes up a lot of room. It's just something that we don't use often, but we have to have. So it just stay right in that trailer.
And it's a flat rate donation?
Yeah, so whatever we get will go towards that trailer.
And just so people will know that this event is going to take place June 12th to June 16th of this year in the parking lot of Dancing Land. Any other questions, folks? Oops. Sure, come up here. So that we know who you are.
What's that thing?
I'm Ms. Brazil, and this is Leah Hayes, and we work at Teamworks, 1314 Fall River Ave, right behind Fantasyland.
Yeah.
So we just had a little question about making sure we still have access to our building during the event. Making sure the egress is clear for our customers, and we have physical therapy to get in and out of that building.
Oh, yeah, there's no way they're gonna set up that they're gonna block egress to anything.
Okay, great.
That's a roadway. That has to be cleared for emergency vehicles as well as patrons and visitors of
And
the place.
parking and bathrooms, we won't be affected by any of this.
We shouldn't be affected by any of
What's
that.
the plan for parking if it's stationed at the front of the area?
We're not thinking of, this is a block thing.
Oh, that's excellent, okay.
We're excited to have more people come. We just got there about a year and a half ago, but we are in the back, so we're really wondering, like, will there be security, maybe the public coming in to use our bathrooms, or? it's
No, we have portable bathrooms coming, we
There's
have
security?
our own dumpster coming.
Okay.
The only thing we get from the building will be water. If they don't have water, they will get it from the fire department, the highway. The fire department with the hydrant.
Agreement for
The driveway, this
Where
is
is the
where the
parking?
miniature golf is.
Yeah, great. We
Part
just-
of, hold on, part of the agreement for his licenses, they have to have 2 detail offices there
Oh, that's the question.
when they're open.
We have to have these small-
Yes,
That's dangerous, because
Our business is midnight, so that's why we have some
about
security.
we close at 10.
and if you have any issues, instead of you handling it, you can call the police department and they'll be glad to come down and help you out.
Great, no, that's excellent. We're glad you guys are coming. We just wanted to make sure everything was gonna be all set for us, so
We have to-
thanks.
we hope not to disrupt anyone.
Yeah. Great. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
yeah. Hold on a second, fire chief wants to say something.
Well, I was just looking at the application this morning. We did identify that we had to come and pick up our site plan yet for review. So hopefully you have to put it in tomorrow. And also you need to remind your staff, they need to apply for a day of event permit for us to go down and inspect any food trailers that you have coming in. Anything that has a ventilation hood, all needs to be inspected.
You normally do that once the license is approved to have it.
Just reminding, I don't know if I put that on the application. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
One comment here, the dates you have listed are June 12th to the 16th, that's Wednesday to Sunday. Which don't agree with the day and hours that you have Thursday to,
The hours
yeah, you
during the week,
have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
correct, would be, 6 to 10. And the weekends, 2 to 10.
No, that's not what it says. Yeah, because, well, there was 2 sets of dates listed. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then you had,
That's because originally we were gonna go on Memorial Day weekend,
okay, and then
only
you,
with a holiday.
yep, okay, and then the next one you have
Again.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So are you doing Wednesday as well?
No,
Okay, so the date,
I actually gonna start Thursday,
Thursday
so
the
it's June
13th.
13th.
Thursday to Sunday.
Okay, just so you know, it says Thursday and Friday, 5 to 10.
Oh, 5 to 10?
It says 5 to 10, and Saturday is 1 to 10, and Sunday's 1 to 8.
Okay.
You start later,
Yeah,
but
put it
you'll,
in.
yeah, if people show up, you'll know why.
Okay.
Anything else? Have a motion? We have nothing else?
I have a motion to, accept the request for a one-day special event permit for Rockwell Amusement and Promotions Inc. to conduct a carnival in the parking lot at 1300 Full River Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Unanimous. For the 4 of us. Okay, sir, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. License hearing to consider the request for an alteration of premises for Los Cantaritos Incorporated doing business as Plaza Mexico, Cantina Mexicana, and Cantina, 821 Fall River Avenue, to place approximately 5 tables outside the front of the building for outdoor seating and dining. Is anybody here from that? Plaza Mexico? Are they still cooking here?
They typically are, yeah.
We want to hold on to this until maybe somebody shows up and,
But it's up to the board. So you don't typically need somebody, but the board has always requested in case there's questions. So I just don't know if members have questions.
I'm personally fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine. They can just watch it, didn't
They just,
I think they-
the outside and the
Yeah.
parking lot to the
they?
side.
It was on the side.
During, yeah.
This is
This
more.
is in the
Oh,
front.
yeah, yeah.
I have no problem with it.
so
I have no problem discussing the matter.
do you want to discuss it or no?
Yeah, we can discuss it.
I'm good. I'm good with the site plan they gave us.
Yeah.
The layout.
Yeah, I know.
I have no problem with granting.
Branding it without them being present?
Yeah.
Then make a motion, please.
No, everything was good. This was the only thing I was questioning, but they provided it since the packets.
Make a motion to approve the alteration of premises for Los Cantaritos Inc. doing business at Plaza Mexico, Cantina Mexicana, and Cantina, 821 Florida Avenue, to place approximately 5 tables outside the front of the building for outdoor seating and dining.
Second, please.
Second?
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you. We'll make notification, right?
Yes.
License hearing, consider the request for an annual mobile food cart permit for A+ Kettle Corn to sell popcorn at events. Robert Aruda, owner. Step right up. Okay. What's your name, sir, for the record?
Robert Bruda?
Thank you. Okay, this is to sell popcorn at events. You have a couple of dates down here. This is for at the Seekonk Speedway Grand.
That happened on Big Farms.
Yeah. Right,
And then I do the Fair Town and
right. And now it's gonna cover, this is gonna cover that too. Right, yes. No, it is. It's for the year, but I guess, when you decide to go to an event, you have to notify the town administrator's office and get permission from them.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? Really good. Oh, just maybe. Okay. Any questions, anyone? No? Everybody good?
Yep.
How about a motion?
Make a motion to approve the annual mobile food card permit for 80 plus kettle corners of popcorn at events, Robert Aruna.
Second? Second. Thank you, Dan. Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Good luck, Chris.
Gee,
Hi, I'm so
I
sorry.
no, that's okay, we,
It's traffic.
that's okay, we talk fast here.
Yeah, I know.
We-
Make it.
We did approve
Okay,
for you to put the 5 tables outside,
okay.
okay? I don't think anybody had any questions because, I guess everybody's good with all the paperwork that you, submitted to us, so.
Okay. You saw the layout, everything?
Yep, we saw everything, yep,
Okay, you need anything else?
so you're good to go. No,
Okay,
That's it.
all right, thank you.
good, good luck.
Took me longer to get here than the meeting.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
All right, thank you.
Consider the street acceptance of Airdrie Court and forward to planning board for recommendation for future public hearing. Mr. Aubin, are you going to speak on this?
I can speak on it. Mr. Bray's here, he's the project engineer that put together the acceptance application. This is actually one of the subdivisions that are currently in default before the planning board. Like to think that, yeah, the planning board's action is kind of helping move this along somewhat. It's a long-standing subdivision, been out there for 20 plus years, I think, at this point. There, in reviewing the file, there was somewhat of a concern with regard to drainage. I did ask that Mr. Brawl go take a look at that. He actually stopped by the office today, indicated that the drainage concern isn't any worse than anywhere else on Only Avenue. It isn't anything of any concern with regard to the acceptance of the roadway. Condition-wise, the roadway has been paved. One thing to note, the drainage system, there's no homeowners association, so that support system will become part of the town's responsibility. Obviously, we'll going forward, that'll be part of our MS4 permitting and all our other stormwater efforts going forward. But there is no issue from the planning board's perspective that would prevent this acceptance moving forward.
Anybody on the board have questions for Mr. Bray or Mr. Aubin? Okay, no. Mr. Czar?
No.
We all good? If we're all good, can we get a motion?
Make a motion to forward to the planning board for recommendation, the acceptance of Airdrie Court.
You have a second? Second. Thank you. There's no more questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
My only question would be on the public hearing, would that be in October, closer to town meeting, or is that gonna be done sooner? So I know when that's scheduled for planning board review for recommendation.
Well, you come to us for a public hearing, right?
It did, yeah, the
So,
town administrator's office would schedule that public hearing, I just don't know if board plans on having that now or.
We should probably have it
Sooner
sooner,
than
just
later.
in case there are issues.
Yes, that's fine.
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Okay, consider accepting the donation of $2,500 from the McLaughlin family for the purchase of an automated external defibrillator for the police department. Do you want to, you think you were gonna get away with not saying anything tonight? Really?
No, yeah,
We're glad.
as you remember at that last meeting, we gave 2 awards, life-saving awards as well, so we used to do
All right.
McLaughlin family, sent the check. The volleyball organization did a fundraiser, collected funds, and they donated to the town. That's what we decided, a new AED in their honor, and, sent the check.
That's nice. Very nice of the family. Any questions?
Would that put more on the road, or does it replace aging one, or?
No, I mean, we have a few that go on the road, they just be in the rotation.
Another cruiser will have one?
Another cruiser on the road will have it, or if we're at different events and stuff, take the detail about it.
If that's it, can we get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the donation of $2,500 from the McLaughlin family for the purchase of an automated external defibrillator for the police department.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, Chief. Okay, consider accepting the donation of Community Emergency Response Team bags, helmets, gloves, goggles, and gear to the newly formed Seekonk CERT team from the Mansfield Emergency Management Agency. Hi, Chief.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Maybe morning for you, but it's not for us.
Come before you this evening, the creation of the CERT team, is a great asset to the community. Once the programs start, being a part of the community, it's definitely going to be an asset to all of us. They're going to assist in, large town events, the possibility of us having shelters and towns, or even just manning, warming centers, or cooling centers if need be. So this was a donation that was offered to the CERT program, by the Mansfield EMA. It equates to 58 helmets, 57 helmet liners, 7 vests, about 10 sets of goggles, and about 10 sets of gloves. Along with that, some flashlights, field guides, vests, and gloves. So we'd just like to accept that donation. Help start the certification with the help.
Great. Any questions for the chief? Everybody good? Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to accept the donation of Community Emergency Response Team bags, helmets, gloves, goggles, and gear to the newly formed Seekonk CERT team from the Mansfield Emergency Management Agency.
Second.
We don't see any more questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you, chief. You're gonna, oh, wait. Yes. Consider applying to the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency fiscal year 2023 Citizen Court Program Community Emergency Response Team Grant.
Okay, good evening. I'm before you to identify a grant that was presented by Lieutenant Craig to the office. This grant will provide us with up to $5,000 in funding. It is a matching grant or a reimbursement grant, so as we spend, we have to submit the receipts, and then we'll get the reimbursement from the grant. He projects the $5,000 amount will be awarded to us, and that'll allow us to purchase more of the set equipment that I just identified by the EMA, and then also some T-shirts and other identifying items that the CERT team will be utilizing in post-integration. So I'd just like to get your approval to submit the grant for the FFY 2023 HSGP Citizen Court Grant CERT application.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks very much.
Consider authorizing the town administrator to sign the contract with Klug, Haber, and Associates LLP, CHA, for the Madeira Fund Master Plan bid.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. So as the board is aware, the board awarded the bid to CHA, proceeded with negotiations with CHA. The town meeting authorized $150,000. The agreement with CHA is $143,200 for the design services for the Madeiras farm. The contract, there's one minor change to the contract. The contract has been provided by town council, so it's the template that was provided in our RFQ. And the only change to it was to include language that payments shall be made within 30 days of the invoice date. So that was just a minor. Typically, that's what we have in there for net payments. So my recommendation would be that either the board just vote to approve the contract, and we can just have you folks sign it. I've got the contracts here, or you can authorize me to sign on behalf of the board.
Oh, you have the contract here,
I do, yeah.
and you got spot
I
for
do.
signatures?
Yep.
And will you? We're here, we'll sign. Okay. We don't, do we have to make a motion for this?
You
We're
do.
all gonna sign it?
Yeah, motion to approve the contract.
Somebody make a motion to approve the contract, please.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Michael. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. We'll sign that today. Consider awarding the town hall septic system replacement bid to GT Excavating Corp.
So as the board's aware, we did receive funding for $220,000 for design and installation of a septic system. So the design was complete. We went out to bid. We received 7 bids, and the bids that came in ranged from $188,000 down to the lowest bid of $72,000. So my recommendation is that we take the low bid, which was GT Excavating Corp. Out of Rehoboth, so it's a local company, in the amount of $72,000. So we've spent, I believe it was just under $12,000 for design services. So we'll have turned back for the monies that have been appropriated from town meeting.
What was appropriated at town meeting?
$220,000. So we've had about 72,000.
72.
What was the highest one?
188,789 out of South Dennis, speaking it. Yeah.
Sometimes people overbid, say,
If
too
they have-
busy,
if
they
they
don't
have a
want
lot
the
of
job,
work.
but they get it, they get paid.
And you've got to also consider travel and everything
Yeah.
too, if they're, you know,
And overhead.
oh yeah, it's always overhead. Any other questions, folks?
Make a motion to accept GT Excavating Corp. to do the septic tank replacement,
Septic system.
septic system replacement.
Second.
Any, seeing no more further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you. Okay, presentation of phase 2 of the senior center. Grab your popcorn, folks, this is visual. Let's see if we can get this going. Okay, first of all, we're gonna show you some pictures of what we started with. This is the downstairs. And so everybody will know this is 540 Arcade Avenue, which now houses Human Services in the Senior Center. This is the half of the building that was not completed. So this is what we started to work with. This is also downstairs. This is upstairs. And this is another view from upstairs. So that's what we started with. That's the view from the front, which also changed. One of the big things at first was we needed asbestos removal. So I took some pictures of the asbestos removal. They had to block it all off with this plastic and the tape, and it had to be funneled out. And unfortunately, the guy that was doing it wouldn't let me take his picture because he looked like a spaceman and didn't want anybody seeing. So this is also, we had asbestos over by the doors, and I think I remember right, a lot of the asbestos was in the caulking around the doors and around everything. So I had to have a special removal by an asbestos removal person, which we had. Now, this is the beginning of the destruction. Might be a little bit out of order. This is the breakthrough of the wall between the conference room and the phase 2. This is the famous elevator pit under digging. This is all the sand that was removed from the elevator pit, which DPW, thank you very much, found a place to put all this. These views. This is part of the bathroom that had to be removed. All bathrooms that were on the upstairs and downstairs, they had to be removed, and the floor and some of the piping had to be replaced. Want some more dirt for you. This is the elevator pit. This is a dizzying view of the elevator pit. This is the outside. The outside, the whole front of the building on the left, they had air conditioners built right into the walls. So we had all the air conditioners removed, and on the right is the repair that the bricklayers did, which is phenomenal. You can't even tell that those air conditioners were there anymore. We also took out the doors that were on the front of the building, some double doors, which they also bricked up, which they did a fantastic job. This is a continuation of the pit now that it needs to be all cemented. This is the bathroom floors again. That, like I said, everything had to be torn up because of erosion, and these are guys in the elevator pit setting up everything. looks a little neater now. They got all the dirt gone and they got the sides and everything. Now we're getting the walls. They're destroying the floor, as you can see. Because what happened was when we took down the wall between the conference room and phase 2, we had to put in stairs. So they had to take down that area right there, not only for the elevator, but for the stairs. So there's a framing. See the mess they made? Yeah, they made it through the first, made it through the upper level. This is a little, the elevators down on your left and the flooring's up there. Seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
Does.
Oh, this is from the bottom floor. When they took out the doors, we had to redo. This is actually a view of the top of the roof. That's the top of the elevator. Because the elevator isn't just on the upper level, lower level, and the main floor. It goes, as you saw, the elevator pit, and now this is above the roof. Because it goes above the roof too. There's from the other side. I did not take that picture. This is all the electrical work. I was amazed at some of the electrical things that we had to do in that room. Yeah, they're putting in stairs. And we have stairs. And yeah. Nice view. There's our new windows. All the windows were replaced. The walls are coming. At the top there is the HVAC system. This is in the lower level. This is where the activity, exercise, whatever she wants to put in their room. But we have braces. Those wooden braces are like on every other one. We took pictures so we remember where those braces are. Because as things go along, we'll probably add TVs to the lower level, and that is the reinforcement for the TVs. And they actually go all around that room there. I don't know what room it is. We'll keep going. This is just as a progression as they keep putting up walls and doing the electrical. And this is the generator. Pretty sure is that the generator thing on top of the roof?
HVAC.
Oh, that's that's the HVAC thing. This went in for those of you who live around at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I took these pictures. I thought it was fascinating, but I did not go on the roof. Here's the HVAC system going on the roof. Those 2 guys there would catch it. Oh, it's 3 guys. Oh, that's more of the electrical wires. And this is the truck with the elevator. Because the elevator comes in pieces. 3,000 pieces, I believe. Extremely heavy. Those are the, what do they call those things? In the elevator. What is it?
Hydraulic lifts.
Hydraulic lifts, that's the word. Words. This is part of the elevator. These are the happy guys coming and put in the elevator. The elevator went through the front door, and as you can see, we had about 1/8 of an inch clearance, which we were very lucky. And at this time, there was only one door over to phase 2, so they just made it through that door too. Here they are. Took them a very long time, so I didn't get all the pictures of the progress of the elevator. Just the fact that it fit in the doors was great. Oh, now we have insulation in the walls. Great progress here. That is the room right there on the right that's going to hold the oil water separator for the elevator. That's a double doors. They knocked down the doors. It's the elevator. More of the elevator. This is the down staircase. Those of us that are on the committee know why we took this picture, but DPW helped us to fix it. The more walls, the beams, and if you see those round beams, they were the square metal ones that they got covered. That's actually the staff lounge. Well, it's gonna be the staff lounge. The insulation, one of the things that had to be done when the windows were put in, we couldn't open them because the siding on the side of the eaves there wouldn't let the windows open. So all that side had to be torn out and insulated, and then that strip on the right, that dock raised strip put in, and then they put back the siding. This is downstairs. There we're getting the lights in. Now this is the upstairs from one side of the building towards the double doors. And that is the activity / exercise room downstairs. We have the floor. This is the carpeting in one of the rooms. I think this is the conference room. That's an empty bathroom. We had some issues with leaks. After everybody was on the roof putting in with the elevator and the HVAC system, we had some leakage, which was found and fixed, which was great. This is our oil water separator, which is connected to the elevator pit. So we keep that under control. This is the machine room of the elevator, which has to have their own machine room. This is the electrical connections in the storage room. That's our main distribution panel. And this is the generator. This is them extending the pad because we replaced the existing generator, so that's them cementing the pad. And here comes, I'm not sure if that one's coming or going. So they had to remove the one that was there and bring us a larger. This, I believe, had to do with another leak. Now this is what you see when you go from phase 1 to phase 2. This is the entrance for phase 2 with the double doors. And this is what you see as you get further in the elevator, up and down stairs. This is the staff lounge. This is the game room. Right now, we had a shuffleboard table and a set of foosball table donated. And even the shelves that you see off to the wall there, that was also donated. That was made by Jack Batcher, one of our committee members. This is our storage room downstairs. Of course, with a lot of storage in it. That was a late picture. There's a stairway up and down. These are pictures of inside. This is the glass for the outside of the game room. This is Brittany's office, the director's office. The back stairway. Staff lounge again. The window, those are the windows of staff lounge, so they can actually see outside when they eat. That's from coming off the elevator at the upper level. This is the what do we call this room now? What is it? Clinical services. Yes. So actually, the podiatrist has used it already. I know the fire department comes and does blood pressures. Have they used it yet? Oh, they haven't been due yet. So they're good. So there's an eye machine in there. There's that chair there, a desk, and this is the downstairs activity room. All our restrooms are ADA compliant. The whole section's ADA compliant. And this is the gentleman who's bringing our furniture. Here we go. What furniture now? Brittany's office, that's the entrance. That's being used as card room, mahjong room. It's called open space, but, they can put, whatever their scheduling plans are. This is the new conference room because they lost their conference room when we knocked down the wall to get the entrance from phase 1 into phase 2. So we gave them back the conference room, which is on the upper level. Brittany likes her office. I think we have three or four people contributing pictures to the year. So, okay, that's when we got, on May 13th, we had to get the final inspection state inspection for the elevator. And that was the next to the last inspection we had to get. And if we didn't pass the Mass State inspection for the elevator, we wouldn't have gotten our occupancy permit from our building inspector. So we were there, the 4 of us were there. On the left is our electrician, Chris from MV Electric, of course, Brittany and I. And then on the right is our general contractor, Kevin Pereira. And we were the only 4 there because the state likes to start early. So I decided to have a little celebration once we passed, and we did. So we were able to, the building inspector said, as long as we passed that inspection, civilians and citizens could now go into phase 2, where only employees of the department could go into before. When we did our open house on last Wednesday, Jack Thatcher in the middle there, he was my second in command, really. He saved the town a lot of money. He was on the original phase 1 committee. So he knew a lot about the connections in between, and his history of being a contractor and an OPM really did us a lot of good. So we had Jack do a ribbon cutting also. Try to do a ribbon cutting. That's Jack enjoying everything. And then during the open house, we had a lot of people. We had this slideshow playing on a TV that Human Services has. And actually, those are town employees there. Those other 2 people on the right who had never been in the building before. We had a lot of town employees show up, not only from the town hall, the school department, highway, library. Yes, the ladies from the library came down. We had people that had never even stepped foot in that building before, so they were very happy to come in and check us out. And of course, a lot of the occupants that come, visitors and clients that come. Let's see, that's one of the ladies, the walker. Those are my grandchildren playing in the game room. Open house. So we had some nibbles and we had it set up, giving everybody a tour. This is almost at the end of the tour. My feet hurt. More of our, and that is your senior center. Yay. Thank you. Okay. Discussion of default subdivision. I'm knocking down the time, John. Okay, my friend, how are we going to handle this?
Madam Chair, members of the board, just to kind of by way of summary, the board does have in front of it memorandum as well as a spreadsheet listing the subdivisions we're going to talk about this evening. Copy of the approved plans and decisions for all those subdivisions, as well as some other correspondence that has been generated through this process. Over the last, I'd say, year and a half or so, and really since I came to work for the town, we, between the planning board and the select board, have been working to try to move along with subdivisions that have been inactive in town for a long time. When I first got here, about 9 years ago, There was a subdivision that was approved in 95 that was still kind of hanging out there and kind of really had not been put through for acceptance for any good reason. Coordinating with DPW got that done. Getting back to this current process, over the last year and a half, the planning board has conducted the full review and the full hearings on a number of subdivisions in town that have been inactive, either because the developer has abandoned them, the developer has sold on them, or the developer has did not complete the required public improvements. The result of that are the 14 subdivisions that are listed on my memorandum. And again, they span back to, from when I just got here about 9 years ago to over 20 years ago on some of them. I think in looking at these, we can break them down into a few different categories between developments where we have seen some activity generated from this effort that we've had over the last year and a half. Other developments where we've really got nothing but lip service and the developers are still kind of around, but aren't actively working forward towards acceptance. And then other ones where the developers are absent, we're really left working with the homeowners within those developments. One thing to note, the town the planning board adopted a requirement for homeowner associations around 2009. Some of these developments do not have homeowner associations. That's important. Because generally where we have a homeowner association, that homeowner association is responsible for the stormwater improvements and maintenance to the stormwater elements in their development. Where there's a development that does not have, that predates that requirement for homeowner association, where we were accepting it, I mentioned earlier the Stowwood Estates area report, that stormwater system would be accepted if the town meeting accepts the roadway. That would be a part of the town's stormwater system and not the responsibility of an HOA. And looking at the spreadsheet, that kind of summarizes these 14 developments. I didn't break them down into the 3 categories by that spreadsheet, but I think certainly as we have a discussion this evening, we can do that. But it does note the age of the subdivision, whether or not there's an HOA, what the primary issues are, the form of surety. Some of these developments, the form of surety that's being held on them is a covenant lot. The covenant lot is not a ready access kind of bank account for the planning board to go and play real estate, sell a lot and then go complete the development. In order for us to do that, because the roadway and the road right of way is still the private property of the developer, that's the planning board has no authority or no right to go on someone's private property and pick up anything. So that presents another process, and then really more to the fact that the subdivision control law and the mass general laws that control acceptance and laying out of a roadway are not connected in any way, shape, or form, other than the fact that they're both in mass general law. There isn't any requirement within the subdivision control law that a developer has to come forward and seek acceptance. And for the town to go forward and take acceptance, there's very limited options for that, and that's basically the town have to do it by eminent domain, or otherwise someone else would have to come forward and propose acceptance on the residents within those developments.
So to get the lot that is the surety, we can't get to the lot because the road that's paved is private road.
Well, and I'll defer to town council on the specifics of the process to do that. But essentially what the town would have to do would be to take that roadway by eminent domain and or through a process of the residents proposing acceptance, have the roadway accepted, and then go through the process of recuperating that covenant lot. And I don't even know that the Mass General law provides for the town going and taking that lot and going and putting it up for sale. I really have to defer to town council on what the specifics of that are. And really the covenant lots and surety in general is kind of more or less to be held as a hammer to hold over the head of the developer. Unfortunately, what happens is they get down to the end of the development and it becomes a cost benefit analysis for them. I've got X amount of work that's over here. What am I going to get out of that covenant lot? Or I've got X amount of work to get this done. Maybe it doesn't make sense to me to just disappear and have a new grid. That's the other. Each of these developers, they can go and start a new development. Any of these developers could go and start a new development tomorrow under a new real estate holding company. And the planning board can say, well, you did this over here and hold it down for what they've done in the past. It's not a situation where,
Going on for years.
like the Board of Health, they license all the septic installers. That's not a process that the planning board has the authority to. And it's, they're not apples and apples. Obviously, when you're talking about property, when you're talking about development, you need to get into property rights, so it's kind of hold of the bailiwick.
And also, if you were to sell that lot, we couldn't get the going market rate, right? You have to be out to bid, so you're not paying $200,000.
Again, what that process would look like and what our constraints and with that, because we don't necessarily own those lots, we just go on covenant over them saying that the developer can't sell them. So, in looking at, and I reference these kind of fall into a number of different categories. I think the ones that we have seen some activity on, and this is either from applications that we've seen come in, are Ursula's Way, Ballard Estates, Pine Hill Estates, Holland Woods, and Three Ledges. With regard to Ursula's Way, the developer did come forward with an A&R plan, because there's some land still out there. His intent would be to kind of sell that lot to find, and some of these, and this is an example of our really family subdivisions, where a family might develop land that they had in the family for a while, and they're still held by a family. A number of these sort of fall into that category. Ballard Estates, we saw earlier this evening, the acceptance application for that roadway. They're going to be in front of the planning board on a covenant release request. There are still 2 lots under covenant in that development. They're requesting to release one of those to facilitate the acceptance process and sell out the one unbuilt lot within that development. Pine Hill Estates, I actually had a meeting yesterday with a gentleman that's looking at developing the covenant lot there. He's been in contact with the homeowner association. That's something that kind of came in the interim between this memorandum was submitted and this evening's meeting. And Holland Woods and Three Ledges, I've been in contact with Mr. David Gray, who's the project engineer, and he's indicated that they're moving forward towards an acceptance application on those developments. With regard to inactive developments where the developer is still kind of around but isn't really doing any work on the developments, or is really kind of giving the planning board, in my opinion, lip service as to their intentions to complete these developments, or that I think there's been obviously a capacity issue. Those would be Country Brook Estates, Madison Estates, Jacob Hill Estates, Caleb Estates, Kirk Street Extension, and Harts Court. Harts Court, I just want to highlight that's development. That's probably the one that's got the infrastructure that's in the poorest state. It has not received its final coat of pavement. I think it would take a lot to get that roadway to acceptance. And that's one of those situations where you've got a small 4-lot subdivision. There's 1 lot still in covenant being held. And really, I'm not sure whether or not the capacity is there for that family to kind of finish out that development. And then we have the developments where the developer is totally absent, and we're really left with dealing with the residents that either bought into this development or maybe bought into this development 3 or 4 cycles. Because as I said, we're talking about developments that have been in existence for 20 years. And those are Brigham Farm 2, which is Burnside Avenue, Greenwood Farms, which is Chelsea Drive, and Orchard Estates, which is Kelly Court. Orchard Estates, I do want to highlight, that is, I just mentioned Harts Court, which is one I have probably the most concerns for. Kelly Court, I probably have the least amount of concerns for as far as the condition of the roadway. That's also a development that has an HOA that's responsible for stormwater. So that's one where we had seen at least a stormwater maintenance being done. That's kind of the broad outline. I think as far as a voluminous packet of information that was provided to the board, just to highlight, again, the memo and spreadsheet that's at the beginning. The center section is really just a copy of our approvals for these and final plans for these developments. And then finally, I did want to highlight a memorandum that we put together about a year ago with regard to the unaccepted streets. One thing that has come up during this discussion, and we discussed it here in the past with the select board, as I stated earlier this evening, the right of way is still the property of these developers. Currently, we don't treat that as a separate tax on. We don't tax them on that. But it would seem to me that that would be an avenue for us to have kind of our mills and get an interest if we were to address those as taxable lots. Tax them, developer, fine. We don't want to finish a development. At least that would give the town the option to, not necessarily the obligation to go and take that by eminent domain where it's a situation where it makes sense. I don't think the situation where it makes sense where there's $100,000 worth of work to do out there. But we do have developments where that is the case. And Chelsea Drive, I think, is a perfect example of that. I raised this at numerous meetings, both here and in front of the planning board. At some point, that roadway is going to fail. and everybody's gonna be looking to say, who's gonna fix this? Unfortunately, right now, that would probably devolve to the residents of that development. And I don't necessarily think that that's per se right, but unfortunately, I believe that is the current state of the situation of the law.
Which one's Chelsea Drive?
Chelsea Drive would be Greenwood Farms.
Okay.
But I think Hard Court falls into that, and really any of these where the developer is really kind of absent. You know, we haven't had a roadway fail, but that's not to say that one couldn't. I know we had a sinkhole up on Pine Street, a few months ago, and I think that's kind of highlights what could happen. But I think that's kind of the summary that I had. They've had anything.
No, I think you've kind of hit the high points. One of the things that we ran into, we talked about covenant lots, was Jacoby Wet. The original developer went bankrupt. We filed it under an incorporation. As part of the bankruptcy, the covenant lot went up for sale at the auction to pay off the assets. And the person bought that, but they were buying, having a discount on the lot. When we went to build it, found out there was a covenant on it. Now they have to, because they bought the covenant lot, they bought the interest in the subdivision. So now they're responsible, they got the subdivision done, to be able to sell a lot and build a house on it. And that's why it's going
Ooh,
3, 4,
sure,
5, that's 3 times moving through. So people, they went in and bought the lot on the courthouse steps at auction, didn't know what they were buying into, just thought they were buying a piece of land, and wound up in the middle of this. And that's why it's now whole another person again.
Yeah.
So things have changed hands 3 times. And that's just one example. And John highlighted Chelsea Drive, and that's is something that I don't know really where to start on that one because
Where does Jacoby Way land?
Pine Hill Estates.
Pine Hill.
That's actually one of the ones we have had contact with someone who's looking at.
Yeah.
Completing that work, closing out the development.
Yeah, I
work
see
with the homeowner association.
Yeah.
But again, we don't have a proposal from them.
No, but at least
Yeah,
you've been
that's-
contacted. I mean, that's a big plus from
Right.
the last time, so.
We've seen that happen on a few of these now, where they make contact, they call, they're interested, they find out what they have to do, and then we never see them again.
Well,
So
I got-
we take a lot out of the grain of salt, because we've learned by experience that not to get our hopes up with some of this stuff, because they come in, they find out what's going on, they find out how much it's gonna cost, and you don't see them again.
well, I understand that, but I'll stay on the positive side. At least they contacted you, you got a name. It's a lot better than it was a little while ago. So I'm happy about that.
As long as they follow through, that would be great.
Yes.
And the other piece that John mentioned was the memo that was dated August 1st, 2023, that was addressed to the town administrator and the tax assessor regarding those, roads and other improvements for the subdivisions that, talk about taxation and potential of using that as a point of interest.
Mhm.
And I mean, one of the things that came up in our discussion on the planning board was that tax, if they walk away, they don't pay the taxes over a amount of time. Now you have a tax title situation. They get the land court or superior court, wherever it needs to go. And if it's allowed under the law, then now it kind of helps our interest a little bit.
Right.
So it's something that we haven't really heard anything back from that from the assessor's office at this point. But maybe kind of have it reviewed and see if it's actually something we could do, and then kind of take it along the street a little bit.
But if it goes that far, would they still be held responsible for finishing the development?
Well, if it goes into that tax title, the town loses ownership, and then it becomes owned by the town, and then
Town's problem.
it becomes.
Well,
I think that would only
Or
be,
audit.
or a natural solution where we aren't buying somebody else's problems. That's like I mentioned Kelly in court. I think that where there aren't really any known problems there, the stormwater system's working, the roadway's in good condition. There really isn't anything I would say today that we shouldn't accept this roadway. But where you look at something like Chelsea Drive, where you've got 20 years of working on a stormwater system, you've got no drainage issues with the, not per se, the street. So, you know,
Right.
I've been up there, and the street drains fine. It's unfortunate, the residents, particularly on the left-hand side of the road and the cul-de-sac, are really limited as to what they can do with the land on the water.
correct.
So in that instance, I don't know that it would make sense for us to want to jump in.
It's more like a letter that wants to work with the developer, and I think
Something, however we should have to put it.
and just try to, what's something we could put on the table to the developer, as long as they're still involved, and say, here's the next step. We want to do something with this, and see if we can kind of work something out.
Well, I definitely would like to thank the planning board and Mr. Orban for all your efforts. I did pull up, we've been here a couple of times over this, and I do have that I've looked at. We're at least we're going in the right direction.
Well, we've gone from a page and a half to 2 pages to
Well,
just to one.
yeah, right, yeah, right.
Keep on going in the right direction.
No, this is good. This is good.
And we can get more in depth later on, but I think we have to be, I don't know, kind of a bird's eye view of it right now. But once we
Yep.
go through the second session, we can talk more in depth, but that's kind of what we say right now.
Okay, good. Everybody good? Okay, next, follow-up discussion of Springtown meeting, Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, MBTA, Communities, Multi-Family Zoning, and Southeastern Regional Planning and Economic Development District and Massachusetts Housing Partnership Technical Assistance Scope of Work. You do this on purpose, I know. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, as you just stated, we're here for a dual purpose. One, to review the scope of work for the proposed technical assistance that we've applied for through the Mass Housing Partnership in Serpent. I did provide the select board with a copy of that proposed scope of work that was provided by Mr. Brawl, of Serpent, not by Mr. Brawl. And then the only other element to that would be authorization for Mr. Bean to sign any paperwork that might be necessary for the to facilitate the work with Serpent. The actual contract is between Mass Housing Partnership and Serpent, but I would imagine that somehow there'll be some agreement between the town and Serpent to move forward. Other than that, I did want to come before the board and have a follow-up discussion to Springtown meeting and the bail of the proposed zoning amendments, specifically related to the MBTA zoning, multifamily zoning guidelines. Wanted to highlight a couple of things that came up at town meeting that were erroneous and false. Because the MBTA multifamily zoning guidelines do apply to Seekonk. I know there's a lot of discussion about, whether or not this applies to Seekonk. We're now a mile and a half away from any MBTA facilities. There's no doubt, and certainly town council can support me on this. There's no doubt whether or not this applies to Seekonk. It does. The other thing is that this will impact the town fiscally. I did note in my memorandum to the town that specifically within the guidelines within the Mass General Law provisions pertaining to this provision, there are references to the Mass Work program as well as references to the Housing Choice Grant program. Those are two programs that the town has used in the past, and certainly where we've got Route 6 and Route 44. Two of our primary roads in town being state highways. Our access to funds through Mass Work would be jeopardized by this. And then as a third element of it, in addition to those listed grant programs, as the board knows, as you review proposals on RFPs, have a set of criteria that are with them. Whether or not we are conforming MBTA community, I can pretty much guarantee that's going to be one of the state grant program criteria when they're awarding grants. So even though it may not, we may be going for a grant through DEP, one of the little check boxes is going to be, are you a conforming MBTA community? And if you're not, you're going to be losing points on your grant program. So I highlight those two things. That one, this is certainly applies to the town of Seekonk, and two, this is going to have a fiscal impact to the town and to what happens on state roadways within town. And looking forward to fall town meeting, I expect I'll be presenting somewhat similar proposals, especially with regard to the MBTA provisions. Obviously, the planning board is going to have a discussion with regard to the specifics of what we go forward with. But I did want to have kind of a general discussion both with the select board and the planning board, members of the planning board this evening about that, and just highlight it as we go forward into the fall town meeting. I will probably be asking for specific recommendations from both the select board as well as the finance board, just to highlight that fact that this is going to have an impact to the town. I think one of the things that the presentation suffered from a couple of weeks ago was the fact that it was John up there making a presentation. I think we really need to have a united front if we're going to have a chance of getting this passed. And if we don't get this passed, we're really going to be in a bad position come January 1st, 2025. That's all I have.
Thank you, John.
I think we had this on the town meeting yesterday, trying to see if you're passed or not.
I don't think it did.
Did it?
No.
Seeing as you brought that up, Mr. Dora, maybe you can find out whether it did or not and why. Maybe
So I was just trying to research.
you
it
like
now.
that stuff. You like to do that
Which
stuff.
time was that?
We hope it- They had it presented to.
Yeah, we hope with Facebook pages have had a lot of talk about it, and there's a lot of opposition. Coming in, so.
They're in the same, like, mileage
They're
thing.
next tier down from us.
Yeah.
One other point of clarification I did want to make that came up at town meeting, it's not just a matter of counting off how many units we've got to hit that magical 750 number. It's a capacity question. That came up and was kind of, I got beat on the head with it a little bit at town meeting. How many units could we fit into these proposed districts? It's a capacity question. So once we propose what our district is it runs through an analysis as to what the capacity of that land with wetlands, with the setback, and with all the other land development constraints are. So it isn't just a matter of ticking off till we get to the 750.
And I think part of it too that was missed, and John mentioned it several times, is that there's no mandate to have to build anything, right? We're just setting up the district.
Right.
And the other piece is that using the sites that we did, like Greenbrier and some of the existing legacy multifamily housing that we already have, we've already kind of met that requirement. And someone to come in and buy up that area, knock it all down, redevelop it, do all the engineering, get the permits, come back. Would it be cost effective to come up, turn around, put new housing when something's already there? Probably not.
Feasibility is not one of the elements of the guidelines.
No, but it's something, I'd say that only because it's a consideration. People think, well, it's gonna rule the town. Well, is it really gonna happen? What's the potential of it, depending on the sites we're looking at? Right?
Well, I mean, obviously we can't stand up with town meeting.
We can't say that, but you generally tell me talking to. When we got there. No, but having the discussion again, for us in this environment, and for even for people to understand the issues. You're talking about lots like the R1 lots or smaller non-conformings that are in that zone. They couldn't do it anyway. They have to buy multiple areas to go in and do it because of the requirements. So there are a lot of pieces that go with this, and it's because it's so technical. I think a lot of people were confused with other than the already set mindset of we're going to object to it no matter what, we don't want it anyway.
Well, the thing is that you've got to realize that the people that have to pass or not pass these articles at a town meeting are not sitting here like we are every 2-3 weeks or
Right.
whatever, or once a month or however often you people meet. And you have to be able to tell them specifically and
Consistently.
not only that, but understandably. They got to be able to understand it.
Right.
And that's, because this is a very difficult thing. They think, we didn't choose this.
Right.
This was given to us and told to us. We did not choose that we become, what's the official name of Seekonk as far as the MBTA goes? We're an adjoining something? Adjacent, that's the word. We're an adjacent community. We're not a community, say like Attleboro, but we're an adjacent community. But we didn't designate it ourselves as an adjacent community.
Right. Places law that.
Yeah, that's what, they told us that's what we are. So now we're trying to conform with the rules of being named that. And then, it's got to be specific for, to explain it to them. This is very, it's very intense. And even, I'll admit it, even for me, who's been sitting here many times, listening to all of this more than once, it is intense, but in order to project it to somebody who's going to only sit there one night and listen to you, and whoever, you've got to play to your audience.
Right.
So, and I was sorry that it didn't pass, but I know it. I know what's going on. So, but the people, I'm only one vote. So, we need to get.
I think there's a lot of misinformation that's out there kind of in the news and, every time somebody sees one of these communities that's quote unquote fighting a good fight, standing up against the state, And unfortunately, Seekonk of any community, we're in a great position to adopt this, and not really have it impact us. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that I think we had a lot of no votes on the floor, for other items on the warrant. So one of the things that, kind of getting back to the scope of work, one of the main things that we'll be focusing on is education outreach program. One of the things I did take heart from, we didn't have anybody from either Greenbrier, no, it was Greenbrier too yet, but, or the two areas that we proposed that came forward and said, I live in this proposed district, I don't want this. We had people that were kind of painting onto the MBTA what they thought about the MBTA, not necessarily what the facts were, and it was important.
Yeah. And the problem is, I mean, you know, we didn't do it, but now we gotta comply with it. And we tried to do it for the least amount of impact to the town. And, personally, we spend enough money on lawyers. I don't wanna have to go after and spend, you know, more money if it's easy enough for the town to comply.
Well, and if we don't comply, the town's gonna lose on a
And
financial
yes,
standpoint. We're not gonna,
right?
they're not gonna redo the 44. They're not gonna spend any money to do streetscape on Route 6. I don't know what impact it might have on 152, but 152, when it goes down, I know we do the maintenance on it.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure to what extent we use state funds for other pieces. But
that's
And the other piece too is,
true.
we talked about the contract and is education, and maybe we can get some things over summer,
Yeah.
get some things out there, in
Yeah.
the newspaper articles, the things on the Facebook pages and stuff like that.
Just remember the deadline for the Seekonk Rehoboth report for the months to come.
And, like,
yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we've kind of talked about. But I don't think it should be me that, story by John Olvan, you can see something from the planning board. I think that was one of the problems. No, I just meeting and people think it's my great idea.
It's got a ring though.
Yeah, I think the vice president probably say that. Did the select board have any questions on the school board?
Do they need to vote to approve that?
No, this was just to follow up discussion on it, the town meeting stuff.
Could we authorize you on to sign any paperwork that might be necessary? It's okay.
For the scope of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to report back to Circuit tomorrow so we can get the ball rolling.
How about a motion, boys and girls?
I make a motion that we, allow the town administrator to sign any and all necessary paperwork for the Massachusetts Housing Partnership Technical Assistance Scope of Work grant program.
It's great, right?
Yeah, yes,
It's great.
technical assistance program.
Okay, motion made in second. Seeing no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have consider the approval of the deputy fire chief's contract.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. So the terms that the board had offered to the deputy chief has been agreed to, so we just need an official vote in open session.
So moved.
Second,
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Unanimous? Yes, everybody said aye, unanimous.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for staying. Okay, consider the approval of May 8th, 2024 open session minutes.
Motion to accept.
I just have one thing. Is the, under B, on the second page, under permit hearing of the one-day special permit for Loveless and Seekonk, there was no date added there. So if you can just add the date 6/8/2024. That is it. Somebody want to make a motion
Motion to approve
with the one addition?
with that one.
Second. Pam, second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, consider the approval of May 22nd, 2024 open session minutes.
Motion to approve as submitted. Do you have any?
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Pam, thank you. No, all in favor? Aye, unanimous. Those present. Thank you. Okay, other business? I have nothing other business. Okay, town administrators report, Department of Public Works Building Committee.
The only update, we can just continue to work with the OPM and the architect as they're going through construction documents, but still trying to review some value engineering to potentially reduce the project costs. So we did have a meeting this week. We did have some discussion about potentially further reducing the garage size. So hopefully we'll be able to at least have some savings there. That's all I have.
Okay, Board of Selectmen liaison reports and comments. Accounts payable warrant signed, 540 Arcade Avenue Building Committee report. We are in and working and looking at the, anything that has to be changed. The committee will be in effect until the end of the year. And another presentation like this will be done at the next town meeting so that everybody knows what has happened we still have to the end of the year to really close out. TV9,
There's a,
you're gonna do it? Okay.
yeah, just quickly, just so that the board's aware, we do have a negotiation session set up for this Friday at 10 a.m. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more information next time we meet.
Okay, Bristol County Advisory Board?
Nothing new.
Okay. Madeira Pond Committee report? Oh, that's,
Yeah, so I can do that one. So
Okay.
the board just approved the contract for the designer services, so the committee can now have a kickoff. So which will really start the official meetings with the designer. I know the designer was trying to get their engineers out there to survey the property. So they were trying to get that done this week. So hopefully we'll get that going and we'll have more information for the board as the kickoff begins.
good. Seekonk Public Library feasibility study building assessment.
All right, so, Alyssa and Kate are both very frustrated, with progress. They have been reaching out to get status. Kate reached out on Monday. She did again today. They've not heard back. They're still waiting to get the, let's see, the last update that they received was that the subsurface work, was that the engineering firm was having difficulty finding a vendor to seal the landfill cap once it is opened, and until that vendor is located and available, the subsurface work can't be started. So the draft reports are ready, but yet they're still waiting for the surface work completed before they can finalize them. And they've asked for cost estimates for the building system repairs and replacements, but haven't gotten them yet either. So.
Nothing's quick. Okay, for the board, do you have any comments? Mr. Zora?
Just saying that I was able to attend the Seekonk High School graduation the other day.
Oh, good.
It was very nice to see. And while all the seniors did graduate, a few of them are staying behind to continue playing baseball. They won a 10-0 shutout a few days ago. I think yesterday they did a 5-0 shutout, so they're advancing to the playoffs. So a few of them might be back before they move on to college to claim another championship. They're doing very, very well. That's all I have.
Good. Mr. Gilly?
Nothing at this time.
Mrs. Posey?
I just want to say the art contest for the traffic control box is now open, and the website, the webpage on the town website, which you can find underneath the Board of Selectmen, the Select Board section, has all the information as well as spot on there to submit paperwork and to apply. Again, this is for the traffic control box at the corner of Arcade and Ledge Road. $500 prize.
Let's get that on.
Hopefully we get some people to give us some art to make that box look good.
That'd be great. I only have a.
Well, I was kind of showing if you were able to get to you were gonna look into getting it to the reporter.
I had Chris Testa reach out, but I didn't
Okay.
follow up with her, so I
Okay.
can get that for
Thank
you.
you.
Okay. I was, thanks to Mr. Zora, I was actually in Memorial Day parade, which was very nice. He walked, I rode in the ATV, so I was waving to everybody as I went by. So, but it was great. The ceremony at the Memorial Park was wonderful. There were a lot of people there. It was a great day. Thank you for everybody. This was great. I like to remind people that are on boards and committees that the reappointments are going to happen at the end, either at the end of this month, which is our next meeting, or the first meeting in July.
Yep.
I'm not too sure which one, but I think
Our next meeting is
But-
end of this one, end of this month.
the end of this month, because all appointments to boards and committees are over at the end of the fiscal year. You were sent a letter, you have to fill out the paper and get it back to the town administrator's office. They're not gonna be contacting you again. It's just a form. Fill it out, send it in, please, please. Otherwise, you may lose your position on whatever board you are on. We received this today from the public library. They're pleased to announce the release of the Seekonk Library Summer Brochure, which details an array of free programs and activities available to our community this season. This summer brochure includes a variety of programs, including community events, book clubs, arts programming, a summer concert series, and our annual summer reading challenges. We have worked diligently to ensure that our summer programs cater to diverse interests and provide enriching experiences for all participants. The brochure is available in print at various locations around town, including the library, town hall, and human services. It's also available online at the library's website, seekonkpl.org. We encourage all residents to take advantage of these opportunities and to engage with the community, learn new skills, and enjoy the vibrant summer season. That's very nice. I just want to note, so everybody is aware, that we are going, we're not doing every 2 weeks now. Our next meeting is going to be June 26th, which is in 3 weeks, because Juneteenth is a holiday which falls on the 19th, and all town offices will be closed on Juneteenth. So our next meeting will be June 26th. And I think that is it. I'm actually glad I have all these papers. Oh, good. Anybody else have anything? We all good? Okay. Next, we got, hold on. What's this say? It's now 7:22. I'd like a motion to adjourn to enter into executive session not to reconvene in open session for to discuss strategy with respect to potential litigation pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, subsection 28(3), as having the discussion in open session would be detrimental to the negotiation position of the town, and the chairman so declares with respect to Country Brook Estates, Madison Estates, Ursula's Way, Charlotte Estates, Harts Court, Court Street, Extension, Pine Hill Estates, Jacob Hill Estates, Caleb Estates, Holland Woods, 3 Ledges, Brigham Farms 2, Greenwood Farm, and Orchard Estates. And also to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, subsection 20A6, as having a discussion in session would be detrimental to the negotiation position of the town, AP 14, Lot 78 in 96. Also to consider accepting executive session minutes of April 10th, 2024, consider accepting executive session minutes of May 22nd, 2024, to act under authority of the Open Meeting Law, General Laws, Chapter 38, subsection 22F in subsection 22G, and review and approve the executive session minutes of April 10th, 2024, pursuant to General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A7.
So moved, Michael Daly.
Second, Pam Posey.
Michael Daly, aye.
Pam Posey, aye.
Chris Zora, aye.
Michelle Hines, aye. Unanimous. Okay. Thank you.
Adjourn.
Oh, That was the motion to adjourn.
Oh, it was motion
Yeah.
to enter it.
The motion to adjourn and to enter,
Gotcha, I'm sorry.
to go into executive session. Don't confuse.